half in the bag. Hey, don't you got anything better to do? Oh no, we're about to hit the Chicago Bears Tower. Whoa! It looks like we didn't. Hey Jay, let's talk about 2 new movies.
Hello and welcome to Half in the Bag. I'm Jay.
And I'm Paul Blart.
And we just saw 2 horror movies. Unfriended is a new Skype and Facebook-themed horror movie, not to be confused with the recent Twitter-themed horror movie It Follows. In Unfriended, 5 or 6 teens all meet on Skype to be horrible people on the anniversary of their friend's suicide. A suicide they caused by cyberbullying her after they posted a video of her shitting herself while drunk.
Come on, people, we've all been there.
Eventually, through computer hijinks, every character dies. Oh, spoilers. Mike, what did you think of Unfriended?
What? Well, Jay, I can honestly say that Unfriended was the very best horror film set on Facebook and Skype that I've ever seen.
I would have to agree with that, yeah.
It was better than I thought, and
Yes.
it was complete shit, and it was better than I thought.
I wouldn't say it's complete shit. What I will say is I really wanted to see this movie because the trailer was a comedic masterpiece. I laughed so loud the first time I saw the trailer for it. It was like perfect, like fat guy's hand in the blender. It's that type of dumb, gimmicky horror movie where it's like, this is gonna be dated in 6 months, you know? And everything about it just
this is gonna live on to be one of the classics.
Oh, sure, yeah. But yeah, I actually gotta give the movie quite a bit of credit. The whole, I mean, it's obviously very gimmicky. The whole premise is a gimmick. It's just a sort of a twist on found footage in a way. But it all felt like, usually when they do this type of stuff in movies, it always feels really phony. Like, this felt like the way it was bouncing back and forth between like Facebook and Skype and all those things, like, because it's all, if anyone doesn't know, the whole movie is on a laptop screen. And
The whole movie.
The whole movie, and it felt very natural and real as far as that element goes, and the way it was sort of delivering exposition via, you know, YouTube videos and you know, news websites and stuff like that. So a different way of telling a story that I thought actually kind of worked.
You can call it a story.
Well, that's the problem, is that it is a horror movie and it's not scary at all in the least.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, definitely. I didn't absolutely hate this movie. I didn't think it was complete shit, but you're right. It gets the technical stuff really, really spot on, and it should, because the whole movie's on a fucking computer. It really needed to get that. And what was impressive was that I'm assuming they spent 75% of their budget getting the licensing for Google, YouTube,
sure,
and Facebook, and a lot of movies don't bother with that. They have their imitation, like, fake sites.
My favorite example of that is from the classic film Old Man.
Walter Bowden, 65, hangs self after a killing spree that included his wife and 19-year-old son.
And I'm assuming that was a big push by their producers, was that this movie's marketed towards teens. We want it to feel real to them. Yeah. We want it to look exactly like their Facebook looks. We want it to look exactly like their Mac laptops look and all that. If it doesn't, it's not gonna play, right, you know? And that's true, and all that felt fine. You know, you could tell parts they were speeding up typing for the, you know, compressing time and all that,
sure,
but like, then the glitches were added for scary effects here and there, but really, like, overall, really good representation of what a computer laptop looks like. And that's what we've come to in movies today.
Yep. Well, and it also, like, as a storytelling device, the way, like, a character will be typing a message to the main character on it's her laptop, starting to type a message and then, like, delete it and then type something different, or it's like you can tell, it's the way the movie is expressing her, like, apprehension of divulging information. Like, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's at the service of this really generic, was basically a slasher movie.
I mean, it had all the tropes in there, and the virginal teen, and you know, it turns a twist at the end, and you know, there's the fat guy character. It kind of was playing on the cliches a little, but really obvious who it was marketed for. Although the film was inexplicably rated R, and there are teens in front of us in line who couldn't get in. They're like, you have to have a parent.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this to warrant an R rating.
Just language and violence, which, I don't know. Like,
There was
if you wanted to, like,
I don't remember a single F word or a single.
Oh, there was swearing. Yeah, there was swearing.
I don't remember any swearing.
They were calling each other, like, cock-sucking sluts.
Yeah, she said bitch and a couple of, but nothing that couldn't be trimmed or fixed.
Yeah,
and
I would say this movie would play better to a younger, like a 17, 16-year-old.
No, it plays to the senior citizen demographic. Well, one of the problems for me was the logic and the rules. It was like, okay, here the story is, there's the main girl, her friend, her name is, what's the name? It said it a million
Laura
times.
Barnes.
Laura Barnes. I should remember this.
It doesn't matter.
It's on the screen a million times. Laura Barnes, and she's like a normal looking girl. She seems like one of their friends. It doesn't seem like she would be the typical victim of a cyberbully thing, and it's not really that. It's more like she passed out and pooped herself.
Yes.
And then they post a video about it. And it's like, why did her friends do this to her?
Yeah.
There's no real reason why. And then they kind of allude to it very briefly. They show a YouTube video of her where she's like holding up pictures with words on them. It's like, fuck all you guys. And
yeah.
So there's almost zero backstory about why this Laura Barnes girl is targeted by her friends to be such a malicious thing, other than the fact that our 5 or 6 main characters are just really fucking awful people.
Yes.
I think that's it. But Laura Barnes is also fucking awful because she seems kind of nasty.
She's getting her revenge by making them stick their hands in blenders.
Well, right. And so here comes Laura Barnes. It's a year after she shoots herself on the playground with a gun, and she's going to haunt them on Skype. And apparently she has unlimited powers. Unlimited powers to do anything with computers or lights.
The scariest thing she can do is she can make the reply button in Gmail, or the forward button, just disappear. Guys, where's my forward button?
Oh no!
Ooh, spooky!
I am going to make your forward button disappear! I am going to make you not be able to close out this tab. Woo! Where's Lon Chaney when you need him? Where's Bela Lugosi? You can't force quit your programs. And it's like, okay, the real scary part is that their dead friend is haunting them. The Skype and Facebook shit is just a vehicle.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't scary that their dead friend was haunting them, because it's just like, hi, I'm your dead friend. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Now, if it were, say, a demonic entity impersonating their friend who had
Maybe
real
it was.
powers.
We don't know.
Maybe it was. But then, like at the end, the ghost of Laura comes out and goes, that's just someone impersonating me. I forgive you guys. I'm really a good ghost. But it was just all around miserable. There was no goodness in the movie. There was no heart. It was just 6 miserable, awful kids did something awful and miserable to a miserable, awful girl, and she turned into a Skype ghost and killed them.
Yes.
They could have gone the easy route, right? They could have taken like the weird, shy, ugly, fat girl, whatever, sorry, cyberbullying, victims, whatever. And she, really homely, I use the word homely, picked on, all alone, turns psycho from like abuse.
Like a Carrie.
Like a Carrie. They could have set it up, and then she kills herself, and then the kids go on the computer, and then she shows up. Yeah. Instead, it's like this almost zero backstory, and just all around kind of despicable.
Who is that?
I just tried to hang up on him.
Can we get rid of this person?
I don't know.
Was this here the whole time?
It's just probably a glitch.
Well, the glitch just typed.
Who is doing this? This is Laura's account.
Who would hack into a dead girl's account?
It's interesting though, because this is a stark comparison to It Follows, which was technology-less.
Yeah.
And
Except for the
much
weird
more.
clamshell thing.
Except for the clamshell reader, but much more effective.
Well, it's a prime example of why most of these found footage movies just aren't very good. They just feel like junk. Like It Follows, really, really well crafted. Like there's craftsmanship in the building of tension and making these scenes scary with the filmmaking. And something like Unfriended, it's just, you know, it's essentially a found footage movie. Just people screaming.
I was only scared at how slow the clock was moving when I was watching this film. It's the only thing that scared me.
Yeah, what is this, 82 minutes? 82 minutes. It feels like twice that, which can be said for both of our films today.
But they carried it for 82 minutes with just a computer screen. I mean, I don't know. I guess that should give some kind of gold star, right?
They get an A for effort.
They do get an A for effort. So, Jay, would you recommend Children of the Corn 6, The Internet Age?
What?
I don't know. What is this movie called?
Are you even awake right now? You're like falling asleep as you talk.
That's fine. What is the movie called? Despicable Me? Despicable Characters? Is this an Adam Sandler film? Adam Sandler produces this?
I want to see Happy Madison start to make horror movies with like the same...
Jay, they already do.
Oh.
Hey. What was this movie called? Unfriended. Because they unfriended Laura Palmer. And then she said, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm sending a midget that talks backwards after you. Sorry, little person. Hashtag midget shaming. It's not a very good film for Facebook.
That's true.
It makes me scared of Facebook because there might be a ghost on it.
They did have very early on in the credits, I saw they had a thing saying this is a work of fiction and doesn't represent any reality or whatever. Like, that's usually at the very end of the credits, but it got its own title screen.
Because some girl named Laura Barnes is gonna get fucking cyberbullied to death. Are you the Laura Barnes from the movie? Oh, yeah.
Do you think they did any research to make sure there wasn't a Laura Barnes on Facebook, and that's why they had picked that name?
Probably not.
So you're saying these filmmakers are irresponsible?
Filmmakers?
Who's here?
Lock the door! Lock your door! Just hide! Why are you showing this? I didn't mean it! I swear to you!
Oh, you swear? Man, what's going on?
What is it?
Ken, talk to us!
So, Mike, would you recommend Unfriended? No?
They should have made a horror movie on MySpace. It would be called Ghost Town. See, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
This is gonna be fun.
Kevin James continues to astonish audiences in his new film, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. And no, it's not his comedic skills or his writing. It's his ability to continue to be the most shameless, embarrassing sellout who's ever lived. In Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, we learn that Sony has their own Apple iWatch. We also learn that the Wynn Resort in Las Vegas has a great-looking pool area, nice restaurants, a very helpful staff, and a fantastic-looking stage show called La Rêve. They also have a world-class art collection that no one seems to care much about, that criminals can easily steal with cheap plastic gadgets from Sharper Image. Oh yeah, and Paul Blart falls down a lot, and his 45-year-old hairdresser daughter gets kidnapped by the guy from Star Trek First Contact. The film carries on in the Adam Sandler tradition of social class mocking, homophobia, racism, and stupidity, but in a much more PG manner. Jay, what did you think of Paul Blart Blarp?
What is the opposite of art?
Paul Blart.
Okay, yeah, art is in the name though, which is unfortunate. Paul Blart, Blart.
If those 3 letters of the alphabet could kill themselves, they would.
Paul Blart Mall Cop is terrible. That goes without saying. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's more because of indifference than anything. Okay, someone wrote a script, like just to get the plot, you know, taken care of, and then they were gonna go back and add jokes, but nobody went back and added jokes. And so you have like the bumbling fat guy idiot character that's a staple of comedy, but when you have him in a movie where there are no jokes, he's like the most depressing human being alive, and it's just miserable to watch.
Yeah, there was only one joke that I laughed at, and at the end all the Paul Blart Mall Cops show up to fight the bad guy, and there's like an Indian stereotype who is stupid and falls asleep and is Indian, so haha. Yeah. And he shows up and it looks like he has a cape, like he's gonna be a superhero, and then he goes like, I just came from my haircut. And I laughed.
Did you actually laugh?
I laughed one time in the film.
I came straight from a haircut.
When people ask me, why do you do it? I, like you, didn't choose security. Security chose me.
Sweet mercy.
I do wonder what the process is for coming up with these movies at the Happy Madison production office, though. Like in Jack and Jill, there's that whole sequence on, was it like a carnival cruise or what was it? And it's just an ad. Like that whole section of the movie is just a commercial. This is a whole movie that's a commercial for the Wynn Resort. And it makes me wonder, like, do people approach Happy Madison, like, advertise our products, advertise, you know, we'll you know, pay to promote our products, and then they decide to make a movie based around that?
Well,
does the product placement come first?
I'll say this, Steve Wynn is not hurting for money.
Sure.
I think the production company approached him, and I want to say, because I read up on this, and it's the first movie that he's allowed someone to come and film on. So obviously it's like, let's make the Wynn Resort look nice. There's a lot of beauty shots. There's a lot of.
They even give him a gratuitous cameo, the man himself.
Yeah. So I don't think that's the case. But it did make. It was like, look at the Wynn Resort. Isn't it great? Except for one negative scene. It was all positive, except for when the craps dealer starts taking Paul Blart's money.
Oh, the memorable scene where he plays craps and he loses, and that's the scene.
I couldn't have predicted that. That was shocking. That had a comedic twist to it. No, but the craps dealer's like, give me this, I'll put it here, I'll put it here. Like, they don't do that.
Yeah.
They'll start taking your money, telling you where to place your bets. By the way, the Wynn sucks. I've been there before, it sucks. I lost $5 on one of your fucking sucky slot machines. But Paul Blart gets invited to the Mall Cop Association, whatever, some sort of
security convention.
Yes, out in Las Vegas, and then he goes there. And that therein lies a new Adam Sandler subgenre, a new Adam Sandler hallmark, which is now what I'm going to call occupational shaming. Occupation shaming, hashtag occupation shaming. Because Paul Blart is a singular character, a wacky, bumbling mall cop. Yeah. That's okay.
Pretty basic, yeah.
That's acceptable.
Sure.
But to say that all people that work in some sort of security that is not a police officer are all like big, fat, bumbling idiots.
That's true,
or dimwits is rather insulting. They showed pictures of like the legends of either mall security or bank security or whatever, like lowly occupation.
Yeah.
And they're all like.
Well, can we talk about Kevin James? Because this is the first movie I've seen with him. What is the appeal to people that like Kevin James?
You got me.
Because you can look at like the bumbling fat guy. You have like Chris Farley, you know, like he made some really bad movies, but you can still see in those movies what people find funny about him. I have no idea what anyone would find funny about Kevin James.
Yeah, he's sort of like the, no pun intended, the light version of the fat guy. Like Chris Farley, there's a genuine skill, comedic skill there. There's genuine like funny fat guy craft.
Yes.
Kevin James is like the milky, bland version of that.
Yeah, it's like you put just some random person's dad in a movie. Like it's just a guy. Like there's nothing to him.
I mean, he's not like awful, but
he's not a terrible actor, but he's not funny at all.
No,
ever. And he doesn't even seem like he's trying to be funny.
Please tell me Blart is taken care of. Yeah, you mean taking out your crew one by one?
Ooh, that got real.
Is there a scene when he is trying to fit too much luggage into the overhead compartment on a plane and it's just falling?
No.
That's weird. That's really, really weird.
That they didn't include a scene like that?
And then he sits down in the middle seat in between like a stuffy old lady and some like snooty guy, and he goes, "Oops, sorry, I'm fat."
No, he just goes.
Oh.
He has to awkwardly carry luggage a little bit,
Yeah.
and they don't do anything comedic with that. He has lots of luggage.
Oh, remember the fat black lady? Isn't she funny? Someone kicked her in her big fat gut, and they bounced off her because she's fat. And fat people are impervious to harm.
Yes.
That's true life.
I was hoping at some point that Paul Blart would stick his hand in a blender, but it never happened.
Maybe Kevin James stuck both hands in a blender before he wrote the script. Snap! Because it's all fucked up, you get it? That's a joke, you fat fuck!
So here's the question. Is Kevin James, he's a part of the Happy Madison crowd.
Oh.
Is he worse and less interesting?
Can you call him conspirator? Or,
conspirators? Okay.
Or embezzler or thief or
con man,
con
fraud,
artist, fraud.
All those people are, basically. Did you know they're making a sequel to Joe Dirt with David Spade?
I'm not fucking surprised.
That's happening.
Are we going to get Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo 3 anytime soon?
Well, that's my question. Is Kevin James the most boring of these bad Adam Sandler friends? Is he worse than Rob Schneider?
Oh, yeah.
Rob Schneider at least can do other characters. Like Kevin James is just Kevin James.
All the Adam Sandler guys at least like cut their teeth in comedy or SNL leading up to this. I don't know where Kevin James came from other than a fat woman's vagina. Like, I really don't know.
Sure.
Like, I knew he showed up on King of Queens. He was in a movie called Hitch with Will Smith, but that was sort of after he was successful on King of Queens. He might have just been some guy who was on a TV show. I associate David Spade and Chris Kattan and all those guys with the Adam Sandler money train.
Okay.
I can't say I blame them.
Oh, sure.
They're all doing voices in Hotel Transylvania. They're all doing voices in this. They all show up for one scene and get a $10 million paycheck. We all know it's an embezzlement scam.
Right.
But I can't blame them. But Kevin James is like starring in these vehicles, and I don't know. I hope this one tanks so hard.
I don't think it is.
Oh no, it isn't.
Well, here's the thing too. Is like the first Paul Blart Mall Cop was like 6 years ago. That's a long time, especially for a comedy sequel to come out like have that much time pass. And was the world clamoring for Paul Blart Mall Cop adventures? Like, I don't think anybody made a fan reaction video for Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
No, they did. There were a lot of people looking forward to this.
Oh.
Oh! Monkey hopping it. Oh! I missed it!
Nice.
Oh, sweet mercy.
But a do ride. Oh,
No, fans were not clamoring for Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, but mid-April was.
Oh. Have you ever seen a movie that seemed to be shot and executed so indifferently as Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
No, I don't think I have.
Every, like the writing, the directing, the acting, everything feels like nobody cares or is even trying to make a comedy film.
when you have a scene, right, and you have like some kind of exposition that has to happen in it, they're like, something funny should happen. Because in the scene, Paul Blart is hiding behind stage, and there's crates that the evil super genius who's stealing art has down there. He's like, oh, can I pop these crates open? You know, and we find out the smuggled artwork is in there or whatever. And there's a guy there, and he's like, okay, but I'm gonna eat my lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And so he takes out like a completely black, rotten banana and starts eating the rotten banana. And Paul Blart's like, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, don't eat that. And I know we say this a lot. That's the joke.
Yeah.
And there was no appropriate setup or payoff.
No, it was just a guy eating a rotten banana.
Yeah. And then so
that was it.
It's just like, it's like filler, like shit like that happens. Like, at least the part when Paul Blart had to slide across the floor to lap up drips from a child's ice cream cone. I'm sorry, this really happens. It was moderately to mildly set up to where Paul Blart said he's hypoglycemic.
Yes.
He needs some sugar, and he fell over.
Well, I was confused at first because he's running to do something, and then he just like passes out. And I was like, what happened? I was like, is he narcoleptic? Did they set that up in the first movie that he was narcoleptic? And I didn't know why he fell over. But then you see the ice cream, he starts lapping, and I was like, oh, that's right, he mentioned earlier that he needs sugar. But the execution of it was confusing to the point where I didn't know what was happening.
But again, you're talking, the topic here is sloppiness, no one cares. That's the setup, right? And he goes under there, and of course some of it drips on his face, you know, and then when it starts taking his tongue, it looks like a dog. And then it's just like, okay, then he just kind of gets up and like moves out of the scene.
Yeah.
I was expecting like almost like some sort of Popeye gag when Popeye eats spinach.
Oh.
Popeye was a very old cartoon from the 1920s. Anyway, so I was expecting like a Popeye thing, like
sure,
like some sort of cool, like he gets up and some sort of animation or something exciting happens and the lighting changes. Like, I'm Paul Blart, I got my sugar, I'm ready to go. And so he just like gets up and walks out of the shot, and then he just cut.
The guy was eating the gross banana, and then he wasn't eating the gross banana anymore.
And then
move on to another scene.
Paul Blart is being chased by a security guard man, and then he runs out into the Wynn's signature stage show.
Oh yes, which looks like a fantastic show.
It really does.
This movie has sold me on that show.
Do you know where you can get tickets to see that?
I'm sure you can go to wynnresort.com, right?
Yeah,
is that the website?
Yeah. It looks fantastic.
It looks amazing.
I can't wait to see it.
I want to go to their restaurant. That looks, you know, it looks like they have really great food there and good service. You don't even have to pay. You can just run out of the scene.
But again, nothing funny happened except for Paul Blart grabbed onto a thing that raised him up in the air, and then he knocked people over.
Yeah, it seemed to be that the joke was just that he was on the stage, and that's the farthest they got with it.
He put on those angel wings.
He put on angel wings and went on the stage, and it's funny that he's there. It's funny that he's there. That's the joke.
And I'm sure the cast and crew were laughing hysterically when he walked out on the set with the angel wings, like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Such a great film, Kevin James. Ha, 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 ha. When do checks come in? Ha, 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 ha.
So, Mike, would you recommend Paul Blart? Fart?
No. No. Jay, would you recommend?
I think if you're interested in visiting the Wynn Resort, this is a lovely commercial for it. It's a very, very fine commercial. They got a casino, they got a pool, a wonderful restaurant.
And apparently you can have a big gang fight in the main hallway and no one's around.
Oh, sure.
There's not a lot of people at the Wynn Resort. You know, your casino looks dumpy and shitty. Your convention hall space is pretty small. Your craps dealers are aggressive and sucky. And little kids drip ice cream cone drips everywhere and no one cleans it up.
Yeah. If Paul Blart wasn't there to lap up that ice cream, it would have just gone on the floor. Like, what a dump.
Yeah, and apparently you could just walk from one hotel suite to the other too. Because didn't that happen with the kids?
Oh, that's the thing too. That kid was having a party at the hotel in a room that wasn't occupied. They allow that to happen. Underage drinking in your hotel, like by your employees.
Yep. Yeah.
This movie paints a pretty nasty picture of the Wynn Resort, now that I think about it.
It's kind of trashy.
Yeah.
And I would never stay there. So real good job, Steve Wynn. I hope it was worth it.
I hope your Happy Madison check was worth it.
I mean, your hotel is associated with Paul Blart Mall Cop, too. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you might as well have filmed at the fucking circus, because it's a joke. Your hotel's a fucking joke, and that show you have looks like shit.